It's about what?
I'm sad for those who don't feel that they are loved in order to.
Before his death, the world saw Fred Rogers as a flawless icon of kindness, the gentleman in the cardigan who spoke to children's hearts. But what if that warm smile hid a truth even more powerful than perfection? Now, after decades of silence, his wife, Joanne Rogers, has revealed something deeply personal. Not a scandal, but a truth that might change how we see America's favorite neighbor forever. This is the side of Fred you've never heard, the real man behind the myth. And once you know, you'll never forget it. In 1968, while television exploded with fast-paced cartoons and noisy characters, one man did the unthinkable. He slowed down. With no flashy effects or laugh tracks, Fred Rogers created a quiet revolution in children's television. Every day on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, he entered through the same door, hung up his coat, slipped on his sweater, traded dress shoes for sneakers, and began to sing, "Won't You Be My Neighbor?" It wasn't just a routine, it was an invitation, an emotional connection. He didn't want to be a celebrity. What Fred Rogers wanted more than anything was to meet children where they were, in their fears, their joys, their questions, and their confusion. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, broadcast on PBS, was more than a show. It was an emotional classroom. While other programs focused on letters and numbers, Fred was busy helping children find words for sadness, anger, fear, and love. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood wasn't just a show, it was a gentle revolution. Over 31 seasons from 1968 to 2001, and across 895 episodes, Fred Rogers tackled difficult topics like divorce, death, race, and disability with quiet courage. He never spoke down to children, he spoke with them, giving them tools to understand their emotions. The magical neighborhood of make-believe, with characters like King Friday the 13th, Daniel Tiger, and Lady Elaine Fairchild, reflected real-life situations with heart and honesty. Many of these beloved puppets were voiced by Fred himself. The show also welcomed remarkable guests: Yo-Yo Ma, Julia Child, David Copperfield, Coco the Gorilla, LeVar Burton, and Tony Bennett, all treated with the same kindness Fred extended to his viewers. For many children, especially those in tough homes, that half hour wasn't just entertainment, it was emotional refuge. And the world noticed. The show earned 4 Daytime Emmy Awards, 55 nominations, and honors like the Cine Golden Eagle Award. In 1997, at the Daytime Emmy Awards, Fred Rogers accepted a Lifetime Achievement Award. Instead of making it about himself, he asked the crowd to pause for 10 seconds, to think about the people who helped them become who they are. The room went silent. That was Fred's way, stillness with meaning. Even after the show ended in 2001, the legacy of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood didn't fade. Thanks to streaming platforms and YouTube, new generations continue discovering Fred Rogers, his soft voice, his sweater, his patience. His message lives on through shows like Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood, produced by Fred Rogers Productions, carrying the torch of emotional honesty into a new era. But the man behind the camera wasn't a fairy tale character. He was real. And the person who knew that better than anyone was Joanne Rogers. Before she was Mrs. Rogers, Joanne Bird was a concert pianist from Jacksonville, Florida. She studied at Rollins College, then Florida State University, and finally Carnegie Mellon in Pittsburgh. She was known for her talent, her wit, and her calm confidence. She wasn't looking to be someone's sidekick. She was building her own life. She and Fred met at Rollins College in the late 1940s, 2 music majors drawn together not by drama, but by deep understanding. They didn't build their relationship on candlelight and roses. It was built on rhythm, routine, and respect. After college, Fred moved to New York to work at NBC, and Joanne stayed in Florida. They kept their bond alive through letters. Eventually, Fred proposed, by mail. She was so excited she called him from a phone booth to say yes, nearly losing the letter on her way. They married in 1952 and had 2 sons, James and John. At home, Joanne was the emotional backbone. She managed the household, protected Fred's quiet time, and balanced his gentle nature with structure and strength. She understood his routines, his silence, his worries, and she never tried to change him. She didn't need to. She accepted all of him. While the world saw a calm icon, Joanne saw a man who carried immense emotional weight. He felt responsible for millions of children. He tried to embody kindness, not because it was easy, but because it mattered. His morning swim routines, his precise 143-pound weight, all of it was part of staying true to his message. That number, 143, was sacred to Fred. 1 letter for I, 4 for love, 3 for you. It wasn't a gimmick, it was a philosophy. But Fred Rogers wasn't immune to fear or exhaustion. According to Joanne, he struggled too. He worried if he was doing enough, being enough. He had days when the burden of being everyone's emotional anchor was simply too heavy. That's what makes him more inspiring. Not that he was perfect, but that he kept choosing to be kind even when it was hard. Then came the hardest part, his final days. In late 2002, Fred began feeling unwell. He quietly adjusted his diet and tried to manage it without concern. But when the pain became unbearable, he was diagnosed with stomach cancer. Surgery was performed, but the disease had already advanced. Even in pain, Fred kept showing up. He appeared at the Rose Parade in Pasadena as Grand Marshal in January 2003, just weeks before his death. Back home, Joanne took on the role of caregiver, witnessing his strength even as he faded. Music, once again, became his refuge. He played piano to find peace, even when he could barely sit upright. He passed away quietly on February 27, 2003, at home, a day after his grandson's birthday. His final days were tender, filled with grace, but also vulnerability. And it was Joanne who held him through it all. After his death, Joanne Rogers could have stepped away from public life. Instead, she became the heart of his legacy. As chair emerita of Fred Rogers Productions, she ensured the values of empathy and emotional intelligence remained central in children's media. She gave interviews, appeared in documentaries like Won't You Be My Neighbor, and even made a cameo in the 2019 film A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. In 2019, Pennsylvania honored Fred Rogers by naming May 23rd 143 Day, symbolizing his quiet code for I love you. It's a day to show kindness, speak gently, and be a true neighbor. On January 14th, 2021, Joanne Rogers passed away at 92 in their Pittsburgh home, surrounded by love. Together, Fred and Joanne didn't just shape television, they shaped hearts. Their legacy wasn't about perfection, but about choosing love every single day. Like, share, and subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching.